jump into this and I'll try and get through it because I know everyone's really excited for the surprise product release. And I think Jerry, our next presenter, is going to make everyone very happy. So I will get through the Powered by SōRSE presentation relatively quickly here. Wanted to give you a little bit more background on me. And originally I was going to tell you my professional background, which is just 10 years experience, marketing and brand development and strategic partnerships. I was in the inaugural South by Southwest cannabis track a couple years back, speaking about consumer behavior and CBD purchasing. But the other thing I wanted to get into, and I think is pretty evident by the experience you've probably had this week meeting our team. I actually was a big fan of SōRSE before I even worked here a long time ago, and I don't even know if my team knows this. I was working in this space, but I could not find products that worked for me. And I was not an uncommon story, but story where I had been sick and they had prescribed me a number of medications and nothing was working for me. And it didn't make me feel good either. I personally felt exhausted, and I often didn't feel anything because of the number of medications I was on. And I actually tried a product that was powered by SōRSE that was available in the Washington State market. It's a 1-to-1 ratio THC CBD, very low dose. And I tried that product, and it was one of the only things that allowed me to get off not only some of the other medications, but made me feel good. And I think, I'm going to talk to you today about Powered by SōRSE and what it means. But ultimately, Powered by SōRSE and putting that branding on the can, or packaging, that's just a piece of what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it easier for people to find quality products so that they can feel better, just like I did. And I knew that when I got the opportunity to work for SōRSE, and that was about 2 years ago, that I would never, because I had my experience, I will never work for another company that I will work as hard for in this industry, because I believe in the product so much. And I know that everyone on this call has built a product that they believe in, and their goal is to get it to as many consumers as they can and make it accessible. So, going into this, yes, we're talking about Powered by SōRSE and the brand identity and kind of what our goal is with these programs, but Powered by SōRSE has a much deeper meaning, and I think everyone in this industry kind of feels that. So with that, we will jump right into the presentation here. Like you guys know, I'm the VP of Marketing. A lot of you actually on this call have spoken to me before about either putting Powered by SōRSE on your packaging or just general verbiage confirmation. So, what does Powered by SōRSE mean? It's you, it's me, everyone attending this call works for a brand with a product powered by SōRSE. And if you consume that product, you are quite literally powered by SōRSE. Ideally, Powered by SōRSE is a moniker for quality and safety. So we will move forward with a little bit more in-depth analysis on that. But the way I look at this is everyone on this call is powered by SōRSE. But it doesn't stop there. Your product contains SōRSE as its active ingredient. That's what it means today to you, the consumer, to the person purchasing your product. But what it will mean tomorrow with continued reinforcement, Powered by SōRSE will be a moniker that is recognized for quality, safety, and efficacy by product developers and consumers alike. The result here is that the partners will benefit from the value of having SōRSE on their can. The partner that we're working with will benefit because they're associated with SōRSE, and see an increase in demand because the consumer will understand the value that SōRSE brings to the table, and therefore the quality of that product is enhanced. What consumers care about. This is something, it's come up in a couple of our presentations over the last week here. Look, it's got to taste good, right? No one wants to choke down a 12-ounce beverage or chew a gummy or anything if it doesn't taste good. One of the key benefits of SōRSE is that it does not have that bitter note or can be easily masked by natural flavors. Many of our clients, many of you on this call, have a product that has 5 calories. It's not possible to have a product like that if your emulsion doesn't taste good or has a minimal flavor profile. So improved taste and sensory is obviously a huge component. Accurate dosing. Anyone who's had an edible, especially a THC edible, and has had an experience where they either wanted to leave the event they were at, or their anxiety got spiked, which is extremely common with THC, they know how important it is to make sure that they stick to an accurate dosing. Sometimes getting those people back to even trying an edible can be really difficult. So the fact that SōRSE is able to deliver not only an accurate dose, but a repeatable experience that's consistent, they know what they're going to get each and every time they consume that product, is huge. And it builds so much trust in an industry that in the past, as Karen talked about, has not been consistent. Being able to find products that are high quality and consistent is really huge and imperative to move this industry forward. And of course, safe ingredients. With our food and beverage background, we know that we're using ingredients that are commonly used in the food and beverage space. We know we're using ingredients that are safe for the consumer, but we've also implemented plenty of testing on the inbound materials as well as our final product to make sure that the product going to you that you put in your finished good is safe for the consumer to use. And we want consumers to know when they see that SōRSE moniker that this product's going to taste good. It's going to give them the same experience. It's going to be the accurate dose. They're going to get what they're paying for, and they're going to get that label claim that's on the packaging, and it's going to be safe. Powered by SōRSE model, as we've discussed, we work with a number of partners that have Powered by SōRSE on their can. The idea is very similar to what you might have seen with Gore-Tex, Intel with Intel Inside, Splenda, to talk about something in food and bev. Consumers are willing to pay a premium price for products because Gore-Tex is involved, because Intel is part of it, because Splenda. And it's because these products are the best, or they market that they have superior benefits that the consumer is looking for. Very similar model to what we're trying to move forward with. Powered by SōRSE means this is a good quality product. It's going to taste good. It's going to have all those attributes that I just listed. The fact that a client's going to be going into, or a consumer rather, is going to be going into a store and looking for brands powered by SōRSE and potentially willing to pay a premium price because they understand the quality that comes with that's a huge feat, and that's what we're attempting to do here. Now, how do you achieve that? You can't just throw a logo on a package. I mean, you guys know this better than I do, but you can't just put a logo on a package and assume, oh, they'll know what that means. They'll know it means high quality. We're not the same as like the FDA. They have a stamp of approval, or, other regulatory groups. People don't know us yet. We're still breaking that barrier. Within the B2B industry, people know that we're the leading emulsion supplier. They know our technology. They've tried it in their formulas, and they're working with us as clients. But we've also been able to brand ourselves accordingly. But how do we do this with the consumer? We have to adjust our marketing as well as our PR strategy to reach the consumer directly. So this is thought leadership and education. Just like we've had to educate the food and bev space about what CBD is, how to integrate it into their products, why they should be doing it, how to do it legally and safe. We have to do that with the consumer. We have to explain to them we have to set the expectations. If people are having a CBD beverage and are expecting, an intoxicating effect, we know they're not going to get that. But how many people have had to answer that question when people go, am I going to get high if I drink this? Am I going to get high if I have this? There's still so much confusion. So we have to educate them, not only on the basics of CBD, but where they can find these high quality products that they should feel safe in trying and also will enjoy. Media coverage and PR. We have invested a lot in PR. We'll get into that in a little bit more in depth in a little bit here. But paid and earned media. We have primarily focused on B2B industry news. So BevNet, Food Dive, Prepared Foods, the events we've participated in, virtual, and when we were actually able to do in-person events, they were all focused on B2B. We were there to meet producers like you, suppliers, bottlers, distributors. So we could build that network that now we can offer to our clients to streamline their processes. Now we want to expand that, focus a little bit more on that lifestyle category, not only so that people recognize what SōRSE is and go into a product, go into a store looking for brands powered by SōRSE, but so they know they can go in and find a good product. We can partner up with our clients, and that's our goal with this Powered by SōRSE program. And partner support and representation. The more partners we work with, the more partners that share that educational piece of talking about what SōRSE is and why their products stand out from the rest, that will continue that, to help us penetrate that consumer market. Thought leadership begins with education, like I talked on. We have to increase this is what SōRSE is going to do. We're going to increase consumer-friendly educational assets. No consumer is going to read a white paper. You guys might have looked at our white papers and they've gone through a bunch of our infographics, but most of them are geared for that B2B audience. We're going to make more content that you guys can leverage as well as us to educate the consumer. We want you to use these assets on your website as downloads. A lot of our Powered by SōRSE clients have a tab or a panel that talks specifically about their active ingredient. Those clients who advocate for us, we want them to have additional assets that they can leave at stores or retailers or use when they're looking for distribution. We also want to partner with our partners in terms of events and educational content. Co-hosting opportunities. We want to help you guys reach your audience and give you the backup, if you will, in terms of why they should, consume your product. A lot of you have spent a lot of time building brands and products that have now a fan following. They're a lifestyle brand. Not only do they like your product because it tastes good, it fits their lifestyle, but now we should educate them more on the benefits they're getting by also consuming your product. Right now CBD is riding that high of this is the hot new ingredient, this is the trendy thing, but we have to build upon that. And a lot of that is just knowledge-based. And then participating in consumer-facing events. Obviously, it would be ideal for us to do in-person events. There is nothing better than, hey, here's a product, sip it, drink it in front of me. Having that experience. That's what we probably all miss most about in-person events. Unfortunately, we're not able to do those, but we are working on ways where we can interact with consumers and create entertaining as well as educational content so that they understand who our partners are and why it's important that they're powered by SōRSE. I mentioned this earlier, our increase in B2C focused media. We've invested a lot in PR initiatives. Our annual investment is around $200,000. Year to date, SōRSE has over 1 billion media impressions. We've been featured in Forbes, we've been in Bon Appetit, Business Insider, Fasco. Those are obviously the ones listed. But we've been in so many featured as either an emulsion technology leader or just in general food and bev leaders talking about things that the consumers care about, things that product developers care about. What we need to do more of, obviously Bon Appetit is more of lifestyle and B2C facing, but we need to do more focusing on our partners in media outlets that they want to reach their audience through. So when we have a partner that's powered by SōRSE on their can, and we have an opportunity that we source through our PR team that maybe it's for Shape magazine, it's for fitness. We would like to use our partners that have powered by SōRSE on their can or their packaging that fit that fitness audience. We want to promote those, and maybe we collaborate and create a piece that isn't just talking about the technology, because the consumer, they're going to care about the technology, but at the end of the day, they're going to go, where do I get it? What is it in? They want to know what product they need to purchase to get it. So moving forward, we will be splitting our PR budget to focus more on consumer-facing outlets. Yes, we still want to be in Business Insider, Forbes, Bloomberg, Fasco Inc., all of these other groups that we've engaged with this year. But we really want to start penetrating that consumer market so that when a consumer goes to the store, they're looking for brands powered by SōRSE. Representation. These are a handful of our clients that are powered by SōRSE. They have powered by SōRSE on their packaging. You will see us occasionally posting on social media about them. It increases brand recognition when you have powered by SōRSE on your can, and we're including you into our dialogue. We also want to help with the accessibility to consumers. We have a B2C landing page that we use when we are included in consumer-facing platforms. That way, instead of coming to our website and consumer reading about the technology behind emulsions, they're directed to a page that talks about the brand attributes they want, the fact that it tastes good, the fact that it's a consistent experience. And that page is linked back to all of the products that currently have powered by SōRSE on their packaging. So that's Mad Tasty, Rip and Sip, a couple of our brands. They're all there so that people know, okay, these are the products I gotta look for. And this is appealing to media platforms. When we send sample kits to media platforms, they get so excited to try out the products, and we get a lot of feedback. And that's going to help us continuously get PR placements moving forward that feature not just SōRSE, but your product as well. The Powered by SōRSE program. You guys have seen, we get a lot of inquiries, people being like, hey, you did this, can we be a part of it next time? We want to partner with all of our clients. We want to do more opportunities, more co-branded opportunities with our clients. When we have a client that does have Powered by SōRSE on their website, on their packaging, we have the option of, we include them in our PR opportunities. So like I said, consumer-facing lifestyle pieces based on what products are a good fit for that outlet. We'll coordinate interviews, and we'll work to get all of the products as much exposure as we can. Sample kits to media. We include products that are labeled Powered by SōRSE in our sample kits to media. We've sent dozens of sample kits out this year, starting that conversation about what we can potentially do in terms of, whether it's a larger engagement or, a piece talking about CBD products where Mad Tasty and SōRSE are called out. We do a lot of education. We have to educate the people writing about CBD, about SōRSE, and what the benefits are. As you guys know, there's a lot of content out there that talks about SōRSE, talks about CBD. It's hard for these writers to know what's legitimate and what's not. A lot of them just kind of regurgitate the loudest person in the room. We need to be the loudest people in the room. We need you guys to be the loudest people with us in the room so that at least the correct information is getting out to the consumer and they know what products to purchase and they're not being misguided. Social media giveaways, we've done a few this year. We definitely want to do more of that. We also have kind of an in-house influencer, if you will, Pastry Pants, if you were looking on Instagram, that is her handle. But Stacy Premack is a chef, and she's our in-house chef, and we often use her to promote some of our products that have Powered by SōRSE on the can. She does some great lifestyle content. Her audience is extremely engaged. She has about 25,000 followers. We want to do more of that stuff with you. We will also look at working with some external influencers to do more of that consumer education. And a big component of that is not just working with cannabis influencers. We need lifestyle influencers. They can't just be focused on cannabis. It's the wrong audience, especially for CBD. We need to find lifestyle influencers that fit each individual brand's target consumer, what that brand persona is. Those are the right partners for us to collaborate on and work together in sharing the message about SōRSE as well as your product. Everything we do with Powered by SōRSE in terms of media, especially the B2C stuff, is meant to increase the value in your product. The more successful and the more well-known SōRSE is, the better for your product. People will know that it has a high quality ingredient, active ingredient that offers them all those key benefits that we touched on all week. So keep that in mind that, when you succeed, we succeed. That's an ongoing narrative that our company believes in. So we want to create as much content as we can that you guys can leverage in reaching your consumer. Guess I jumped the gun on the when you succeed, we succeed. We want to do more for you. Adding Powered by SōRSE to your packaging allows us to collaborate on more consumer-facing initiatives, PR, virtual events, sampling. We want to do more of that, and we need to do more of that to achieve that goal and make SōRSE that moniker that people recognize for quality, safety, and a good tasting product.